Hey guys, Marstinkin here, bringing you another Dragon Ball Z Dokkan battle video, and so today we are continuing on the showcases for the free-to-play Majin Buu Saga EZA units, and we have the INT, Gohan and Videl. So they are full level 10 links. Unfortunately, you can see here straight away that for some reason they are another one of these units that only has 6 links. I don't know why they do this, especially with units like this. Free-to-play farmable unit. I've got the page up on the wiki. This unit came out in November 2018 on JP. So the unit is like 3.5 years old. But, you know, at that point, units just having 7 links was very commonplace. I don't really understand why you would release a unit and just give them 6 links at this point. And I've said this before many times. Maybe one day in the future it will change. But EZAs should be used as an opportunity to give these units an extra link if they're missing one. But there you go. So they got 6 links, but their kit does seem very interesting to me. So I am looking forward to seeing what they can do here. They do supreme damage to the enemy and they raise attack for 9 turns. So that means you can get quite a few stacks off of this depending on the number of additionals that you get. And then when we look at their passive, it's attack and defense 158%. They get an additional 20% defense with each attack performed up to 58%. So they have to attack 3 times. But then they have a great chance of launching up to 2 additional attacks, each of which has a great chance of becoming a super attack. So what that means is, with some good RNG, even if you only get one of the ones from their passive and then their additional from the hidden potential system, it's very possible to get all 3 attacks to max out their passive in the first turn. So that is pretty good. The only thing that's again a little bit disappointing is they're only on 3 teams: Majin Buu Saga Joined Forces and Defenders of Justice. So we are on the Majin Buu Saga team. So this is turn 1. We got 50% defensive support from Saiyaman 1 and 2 over here. So 131k defense. Obviously they've not had any build up whatsoever. This is turn 2. And we've got no additional support. So we'll go ahead and see what we can get from them here. Double digits from normals is to be expected. 1.97 is their starting attack stat. Now remember, that is with no attack support. So we jump up to 2.1. So we're going to be going up by, what, just over 0.1, 1.5, something like that, each time. So it's not too bad. We did not get very lucky, though, with the additionals from their passive or hidden potential. So we did not get their full build-up in this first turn. And then Saiyaman 1 and 2 are going to take a super attack here. So the thing with these free-to-play Majin Buu Saga EZAs that we just got, that I've been noticing, because we've done the video for the Tech Supreme Kai one already. Check that out if you haven't seen it. But these units are, I don't know the right word for it, weird I guess, but not necessarily bad. Just in the sense that they're kind of limited to the teams that they're on. And then the card themselves is obviously very limited because of the characters, right? So maybe this is one of the reasons why they only have 6 links. They, you know, I'm sure they could have put a little bit of thought into it and given them a 7th one. But because the card is Gohan and Videl, there's like certain links that they won't give them. Because as we've seen over the years, Dokkan has this habit of certain characters get certain links, and regardless of like whether they bring out a new version of the character 3 years later, a lot of the time they'll have exactly the same, if not just mostly the same link set. So then the problem with a lot of these joined forces cards is then when they put 2 characters together, they don't necessarily have like a viable link set that they can share. Because obviously, like, if this card was just a Gohan with the same kit, like the same passive, the same super attack effect, the card would obviously be way better, because the card would be on teams like Hybrid Saiyans and Goku Family, and then of course would have we would expect them to have links like Prepared for Battle, Saiyan Lineage, Saiyan Warrior, like any of these kind of links, right, which the unit is now not going to get, because it just has to have links that fit in well with the card being Gohan and Videl. So that's not necessarily the worst thing in the world. Like we saw from Dokkan Fest, Videl is a good example, right? Because she leads the Defenders of Justice team. She's very limited by her link set, so they made her kit really, really good. So on her team, I know she's a very limited unit, so she's not necessarily the best example. But on her best team, in her best situation, she looks really, really good. And most of the time, that's not with that many links active, because even on her own team, some of the better partners you can run for her don't share that many links with her. I think if I remember back to when I did the showcases when she came out on Global, a good rotation to run on her team is her with Tech Gohan, just because Tech Gohan is so good, so it makes sense to run him on the main rotation on her team. But they don't share many links outside of Fierce Battle. I think they might have Cold Judgment, which is a good defensive link, but yeah, even in her best case scenario, she's not getting a lot of her links active. So they make up for it by making their kit really, really good. So, as I said at the beginning, like on paper, this unit has a really interesting kit, and I was really looking forward to seeing exactly what they can do. So, their defensive passive will be fully built up. We are getting, is it 30% from High School Gohan or 25? 30%, yeah. So they're at 228k defense. It's pretty good. Now, obviously, that's them fully built up. Like I said, if you get good RNG, they can fully build up on turn 1, which is nice. But we've got to remember that because one of their better link partners is this Saiyaman 1 and 2, who are also a 50% defensive support unit, they are getting 80% extra defense just from support units on this rotation, and they're still only at like, well, they're over 200k, it's like 225, right? So it's okay, but for certain events, not so much, right? Like, obviously here in the GT Goku event, I've kind of started using this as a testing ground for these like initial showcases for units, because the GT Goku event is obviously, you know, nowhere near the hardest event in the game anymore. Even on Global, we have the Vegeta event, and I would say multiple stages of Extreme Super Battle Road, and even some of the God stages, obviously, are a lot harder than this event. So if we bring a unit into this event, and they start to struggle at a certain point, it's not a great sign for their viability across the rest of the game. Now, obviously, you kind of have to balance your expectations when it comes to free-to-play unit EZAs, because if they'd EZA'd all 3 of these Majin Buu Saga units, and they were like the 3 best units in the game, or well, the 3 best free-to-play units in the game, which would put them somewhere, you know, on a decent scale compared to actual summonable units, it just removes the need for people to summon as much, right? Because if you want to run Majin Buu Saga, you've already got like the building blocks of a super powerful team. You just need to make sure you've got the leader and everything, right? So they're never going to make free-to-play cards, you know, the best units in the game. And some of the ones that we see that are really, really good are obviously like, you know, the Prime Battle LRs and stuff like that. You know, Frieza is a good example with his EZA. Roshi as well, like the Anniversary LR, very, very good. But these free-to-play EZAs, I do feel like we have this weird sort of middle ground where they definitely could make these units a bit better without them being so crazy that, like, you know, people are not going to want to summon. Because especially for, like, Majin Buu Saga, think how many of the great, like, units and stuff we have for this team. All the different Gokus, including, obviously, Super Saiyan 3, Gotenks, Vegetas as well. Like, there are a lot of options for Majin Buu Saga. So if you're going to run this Gohan and Videl, especially considering, again, because of their links, you have to think about who you're going to run with them. It's not like the Supreme Kai unit that we did the showcase for already, where I was saying, you know, you can bring them along to put in slot 1 just to be a tank, and it doesn't matter if they link all that well with the rest of the team, because you just have all the links going on in slot 2 and 3. Whereas Gohan and Videl, whilst they don't build up any defense after they've gotten those initial attacks off, they're definitely not, by any stretch of like the definition, they're not like a slot 1 unit, realistically, for difficult content especially. So the problem is the niche, like where do they fit? Like Defenders of Justice is kind of shaping up to be a decent team. There's some good units on there. A lot of the Heroes units are on there. Like any of the units who are essentially considered part of the Time Patrol from Heroes are on Defenders of Justice. Like even the Xeno, Gotenks and Gohanks that awakened to Super Saiyan 3 in the last celebration, they're on there as well. So there's some solid units on there, but I don't think I ever see Videls on the friends list. So that's, I feel like, a team that really could do with getting another leader. And then again, Majin Buu Saga, super oversaturated with crazy powerful Saiyans, Hybrid Saiyans, fusions, etc. And then the only other team they're on is Joined Forces, which again is a team that is incredibly stacked with various different combos of like Saiyans and androids and hybrid Saiyans and all sorts of stuff. So for a unit like this, I do think they are very good. I feel like I don't want it to come across that I'm like ragging on them too harshly, because I do like the design. I just feel like the unit is kind of held back with the card itself, like the fact that it's Gohan and Videl, the fact they're only on 3 teams, like they are reasonably impressive. But I mean, we're up to a 3.7 million attack stat. We've got support on the rotation. The Super Saiyan 2 Gohan gives 35% attack and defense, but I mean that's a pretty solid number. The problem is we just can't, like, you're not going to be taking them into the Vegeta event. Obviously, when it comes to global, the big thing on everybody's mind for like the horizon is of course the red zone. Like you can't use these units in there. In fact, I might actually have to look it up, because at the time of recording I don't think anyone has beaten the red zone with a free-to-play team. I don't know if it's even possible, even with like summonable leaders and then just free-to-play units. I don't know if that's actually even possible. So yeah, a lot of these free-to-play units, I guess this is kind of the major downside for global being slightly behind. Like, it's always an issue, right? As a global player, it always kind of sucks when the hype new stuff comes out on global, and then we have to on JP, and then we have to wait like 3 to 5 months for it. But I think cards like this are where you feel the biggest impact. Like, it's an EZA for a free-to-play unit, but because of what we know is going to be coming in the future, all the things that we know, like the hype that are coming, like the anniversary and stuff like that, like this card already just feels outdated, even though I would say, based on, you know, the performance that we've seen from them in this video, that they are pretty decent. I might do, once I've showcased all the units individually, because they are all on Majin Buu Saga, I might go ahead and do a video doing like Majin Buu Saga Extreme Super Battle Road or something like that, and take all of these 3 new EZA units on there, and I'm sure they probably will be able to perform pretty well. But obviously, unless you're newer to the game, chances are you've probably done Majin Buu Saga ESBR already, so where is this unit realistically helping you out? Let me know what you guys think down below, because like I said, whilst I don't want this to come off as being like too overly negative, I do think the card is pretty good, especially with the caveat, like, for a free-to-play card, right? They're hitting 3.5 million, they've got over 200k defense, here's another super, so to another 3.7. They could do this again 2 more times if their passive goes off. There you go, 3.9. If we get the one from their hidden potential, we might actually break 4, because they can only stack so much. We get the normal attack and he dodges. So, like, it might sound a bit doom and gloom, but like the numbers that we're seeing in the video are good. It's just so disappointing that a lot of these units, like, for me especially as a content creator, like after this showcase, and if I do the Super Battle Road one, I'll probably never use this unit again. Because the big question just comes back to, like, where realistically are you going to run this unit on like a regular basis? So, I don't know. Let me know what you guys think down below. Maybe I'm being a little bit too unfair. You guys can let me know what you think. I'm sure there's probably some big like Gohan and Videl fans out there that disagree, but I'll be interested to know what you guys think, because especially, you know, if there's a bunch of you like free-to-play players out there, I want to get your perspective on where you would rank these guys, especially if you do have to run a mostly free-to-play like Majin Buu Saga team. Then I imagine they are a very solid pick. But just coming from the perspective as obviously somebody who has basically every unit in the game, even though they are pretty good, I'm not, you know, dissatisfied with the numbers that they're putting out based on other free-to-play units. I just can't imagine a time where I would really use them all that much. So let me know what you guys think down below in the comment section. We will probably finish off this Goku phase here either with Vegito or the Vegito counters. So let me know what you guys think of Gohan and Videl, and just of free-to-play EZAs in general, because it is kind of an interesting subject. I'm interested to know what you guys think. So that is going to be it for the video, guys. This has been the Master Ningen. Smash that like button, subscribe to the channel if you are new. Check out the links down below for the Discord and the merch store, and I will see you all again soon. Have a good one.